Go over some practices that improve learning management and eleot scores if somebody is coming to your room from the team. And even if not, these things will make learning management and student awareness even better. So I want you to look. These are all eleot domains and eleot subdomains. So you can get a 4 on A3, A4, and D2 if you will have ready on a PPT slide or as a handout at the student's desk the moment they walk in. Now, my students always knew, because I trained them, to look up at the very first PPT slide. And when they were all in, I would say, please take a look at the screen or read the handout so you will know what we will be doing together in class today. Let the students know exactly what they're going to be doing, and you get 4s on A3. And the slide or the handout should inform the student of the following things. Number 1, the content that's going to be covered in the lesson. Number 2, for ESL learners, the critical vocabulary words that they need to be able to know and use. Number 3, the essential skills needed to use the content. And finally, the standards of learning, so Common Core Standards, NGSS, which Common Core Standards are going to be there that I assess you. Students should also be told how they will use all of this in a real world or practical application. You can get a 4 on domain C3 if, after giving the students about a minute, maybe a little less, to read the information, you should state clearly how they are going to be assessed on the things they're going to learn. In other words, students, at the end of class, in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to be giving you a quiz so that I can understand how well you've taken in what we've learned today. You can earn a 4 on domain C4, E1, E2, and E4 if at some point you remind the student that grades will be posted in the online gradebook, the LMS or SIS. You're going to give it back for them, and you want them to review the grades or review the assessment, and then you will return the graded work with feedback to help them learn from their mistakes. Let them know that. And if the assessment is formative, also let them know that they're going to be required to correct anything that was not correct and help reinforce the learning and improve their grade. They can make a 4 in domain B5, G1, G2, and G3 if you will always give them, you can do this at home. Just make sure that it is public that you're doing it. Make sure the observer hears you say it, that you're going to give them 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes worth of work to do on their computer, their pad, or their phone that night. It could be research, it could be a survey, it could be anything. Just get them using their technology. And then finally, you earn a 4 in B5, domain D4, D3, because I like dividing the critical vocabulary up, and then the next day the kids can team up in buddies or in 3s and 4s, and they can review what do we know, what do we don't know. So let me give you an example of what a PPT slide might look like. So right here, this is an AP English. We're going over rhetorical modes. We're going to go over the rhetorical mode of description. I want them to know that. You see that I've given them content. This is what they're going to learn. You see that I've told them the skills that they're going to acquire. You see that I tell them how they're going to be assessed. You're going to be team up with your B partner, spend 10 minutes. They're going to be required to write a single page description of a piece of art that you research online. They do that at home. And the things that they must include. And then the standards of learning are right there below. This is another one. An analysis of text, tone, mood, and attitude, TMA. Content and skills. Students, you will learn these 5 things today. How will you learn? You tell them how they're going to learn, these 4 ways. These are the texts that we're going to go over, Mark Antony's speech in Julius Caesar and lyrics from the song 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. The tools I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you TMA descriptors vocabulary sheet. I'm going to give you a worksheet and a TMA paradigm. How am I going to assess you, and what are the standards of learning, the SOLs? Well, I'm going to assess you. You will then review your scores in the online grade book. I will return corrected material to you within 2 days. You must correct and return the quiz. So I'm going to give them a quiz for 10 points and get a bonus 10 points I didn't have. Tell them their homework, exactly what they've got to do. And then I give them the standards of learning that I use to assess them. So this is the PPT slide that they'll see when they walk into class. And I want to end by saying there are some things that you will gain 5 minutes a day. And so think about this. 5 minutes times 5 days is 25 minutes times 40 weeks. Divided by 60, that's the number of hours that you're going to recapture. And for me, it's about 2 weeks of learning. So these are rules that you should follow. Always have that first slide up there so that when kids come in, they sit down, train them to look up and say, okay, this is what they're going to write it down, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be assessed. And anybody observing you on Elliot is going to give you 4s on all of those things. Have returned work ready and waiting for the student before class begins. How do I do that? I never return work during class. I have it waiting upside down on their desk so that they can pick it up, look at it. I never hand out anything nor pick anything up. My kids, on the way out, anything that I needed to grade a quiz, there was a desk on the side of the room. They put it upside down. I picked them up on the way out. So you never return anything during class. Never take roll. You should know who is in your class, and you never take up work during or at the end of the class. And if you do this, you gain minutes and you get 4s.